Hello, everybody. So I'm really enjoying this book, The Lion and the Unicorn by Shirley Hughes. Our Grange librarian, she recommended it for year 2, but I think it's wonderful for older years as well. And I'm certainly enjoying it, so I hope you just come along. It doesn't matter which year you're in, and read along with me. And this is Lenny, and he's been evacuated from London because of the Second World War. London's getting really bombed. His father is off fighting in the war, and Mum has sent him into the countryside as an evacuee. It's quite difficult because he sort of arrived with the children in the house where he's staying, not that friendly to him. So he's sort of alone in school, but he's found this place in the property where he's living, which is like a secret garden. He's just met this man who we're not sure who this man is. So here we go, everybody. Lenny hovered by the gate, not sure what to say next. "My name's Mick," the man continued. "Don't let me having one leg bother you." "How did you lose it?" Lenny wanted to know. "I left it on a beach in France," the man told him, "but I'll be getting a new one soon." "Will it be wooden?" "No, light metal, I think, with joints." There was a friendly silence. Then Lenny remembered he was not to talk to strangers. He was not sure whether, as this man lived here, he counted as a stranger or not, but he thought he had better be on the safe side. "I've got to go now," he said. Mick just waved. This must be Lenny's dad. On wet days, Lenny sometimes followed Nellie about the house, and they chatted while she dusted and polished. In the great hall, there was a suit of armor, swords hanging on the walls, and pictures of battle scenes with soldiers in red coats. There was one full-length portrait of a very grand officer in splendid uniform. "That's Lady Devass's grandfather," said Nellie. "They've got a lot of soldiers in the family." Lady Devass's husband was killed fighting in the First World War, and her son's a war hero. He's got medals and all. "My dad's in the army," Lenny told her. "I'm joining up myself soon," said Nellie. "Woman's Land Army." Lenny longed for Mum to come, but she wrote to say that she would not visit until he had settled down. She was working in a fireman's canteen. She was not a good writer, and her letters were short, but she saved up her sweet ration and sent Lenny a bar of chocolate now and again. Lenny saw Mick about the place sometimes, helping Bill Penny or Lady Devasse, but he never came into the kitchen for his meals. "There's something been killing rabbits in my vegetable garden," said Bill, one afternoon when he was supping up his tea. "Not that I mind," he added. "I'm glad of it." "A fox?" suggested Mrs. B. "No, it's never a fox. More like a big cat. It got some pigeons too." "It'll be one of those wild cats that's living in the barn," said Mrs. B. "Very fierce they are." "Or perhaps a lion escaped from the zoo," said Joyce slyly, looking sideways at Lenny. "Lions kill people. They wait in the dark and spring out at you and tear your stomach out." That night, long after the others had gone to sleep, Lenny lay awake, listening to the night noises outside. Far away in the dark, he thought he heard a growling, purring sound, then a shriek of an animal in pain. He got up and peeped through the curtains. Was there something prowling about, a black shadow moving alongside the hedge? He hurried back into bed, and he pulled the blankets over his head. Lenny thought about Mum and Dad a lot, hoping and hoping they were safe. He longed to see them again. At school, things had got a lot worse. The boys had started to shout things at him and make fun of his name. Lenny leavies done a wee, they jeered. Wets his bed, don't he? Lenny turned hot with anger and shame. It was true about the bed. It was only sometimes, and he didn't think anyone at school knew about it. He guessed that Joyce must have told them. Nanny was grim-faced in the mornings when she had to deal with wet sheets. But Nellie found out and came to Lenny's rescue. "You can beat this, Lenny," she told him. "Everybody does in the end." She smuggled some spare bedclothes into the attic so Lenny could put them on before Nanny came in the morning. She whisked away wet sheets and washed them herself, and she lent Lenny her big alarm clock. Lenny said it twice in the night and went off with a great clang, but the girls never woke up. The bedwetting got better, but the boys at school went on teasing. One afternoon, Mick came across Lenny sitting hunched on a bench in the walled garden and politely failed to notice his red-rimmed eyes. "Homesick?" he asked. At first, Lenny was too upset to answer. Then he blurted out all about what the boys at school had said. "It's not even true anymore. Well, hardly at all, but I don't suppose I'll ever stop saying it." "I used to wet my bed when I was your age," Mick told him. "It was when they sent me away to boarding school." "Had you done something wrong?" asked Lenny. "No, they thought it would do me good," said Mick. "My father went there. It was awful. I got teased all the time. Then it started again when I went to hospital after." He looked down at where his leg had been. "But you were grown up then," said Lenny, amazed. "Yes, I cried a lot too. But I got through it somehow, and so will you. Or my name's not Mick DeVos." There was a long silence. Lenny stared at Mick. "You're the war hero," he said. "At last. You've got medals for bravery. Nellie told me." "I was frightened all the time in the fighting," said Mick. "But I suppose you can't be brave if you're not frightened in the first place. My father was really brave, a fine officer. I'm only a private." "My dad's a private," said Lenny proudly. "He's fighting the Germans like you did. I've got his badge." "I never wanted to fight Germans or anyone else," Mick told him. "It's cruelty, bullying and oppression we're fighting against." Lenny was not quite sure what this meant, but he got the general idea. "I used to come here to this garden to see the unicorn when I was a boy in the school holidays," said Mick. "I used to long to be brave and manly and all the things they wanted me to be. But there are different kinds of courage. And I'll tell you one thing, the boys who say those things to you haven't got much. None at all, in fact." Later, when he was alone, Lenny thought a lot about what Mick had said. Gradually, the bedwetting stopped altogether. Knowing a real war hero who had had the same problem helped. He even forgot about prowling lions. But then something happened which was much worse. Okay, so I think we're going to stop there for today. But it's an amazing book. I'm really enjoying it. It's so hard for Lenny, but he's found this amazing person that he can trust and talk to, who's helping him to stand up to the bullies and to be brave and strong and deal with all his struggles and all his difficult things. So well done, Lenny, for all your amazing character strength. Sounds to me like you're a CC hero.